Before we begin, it is necessary for me to explain that this show is not what I intended it to be. For reasons that will hopefully become obvious. I can only assure you that despite some minor contradictions that I did everything in my power to be honest. So I will try to explain. This show, this insignificant act of rebellion, is a monologue, closer to a one-man show. In this piece, I, the writer, will try to break every rule, every suggestion, every forward-thinking thought forced down my throat. I am a writer. When you set out to learn about art, they give you rules to follow, rules upon rules that are so constraining that the very birth of creativity is often its death. I'm talking directly to you, the audience. See, that's a big no-no. Radio DJs are even taught not to say words like all or everybody, because on the radio, it's supposed to be like they're talking directly to you and you alone, which is a farce, but effective. See, that's my issue with all these anatomical structures of art. They aren't needed, but they are heavily, heavily suggested. So, in my breaking of them, if anything comes of it, it may shock some, but I honestly doubt very much that this work will go on past this theater. In fact, I wonder if you will think of me more as a child lamenting his bedtime than an artist with an axe to grind. But this break from the constraints is not the entirety of this show, though I am pained to admit that will be a huge portion of it. You see, I'm wondering if I should marry the woman I love. And rather than create some grandiose illusion of character interaction, I want to talk to you, plainly and honestly, in such a manner that is, by its very nature, impossible to achieve. And take the words I'm writing now. They'll be proofread and edited, and therefore won't be an accurate representation of the initial thought, nor would any typo articulate these thoughts accurately. Do you ever think about that? The words as they're written? I do. I don't like it. And my love, she hates it. I tend to suck the joy out of situations. I analyze every spectrum of song, every plot point of being. And that is what I would like you to do now. Analyze me. What am I doing? What am I saying? How and why am I saying it? For the remainder of this show, I invite you to see through my eyes. You might dislike it too. The venue I have in mind for this show is the Tin Shop Theater, a place I've had the good fortune to call home. If you ever get the chance, you should ask the people here about the Tin Shop's ghost. Skeletons in the closet. We parted ways, her and I, and yet I return again as if this place were a forlorn lover, like myself. I have dragged my feet for miles, limped along the days and hours, and after all this, I've come home. Marriage. Isn't that terrifying? Who can say what is love? Well, that question still haunts German contemporary artist Hathaway to this very day. In beginning to write that joke and actually typing it, I had to look him up, as I honestly thought he was dead.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.